She turned 2 in June of 2000. So you're born in 2000.
2008.
You were born in 2000.
2008. She was born in 2006.
She was 6. Okay, yeah. So she was turned 2 in 2008. In June 2008, she was diagnosed the middle of August 2008. So she had just passed her 2nd birthday. She was asleep with us in bed one night, and she was wiggling around. Like I said, she was little, so I was patting her to try to get her to go back to sleep because it was only like 5 in the morning, and Mommy wasn't going to get up that early. And I felt something weird on her stomach, and I kind of nudged my husband, like, feel this, and he's feeling around. He's like, that's weird. So, of course, the first person I called is my mom, Dr. Mom, and she said, just take her straight to the pediatrician as soon as they open. And so I kind of let her go back to bed. And then as soon as we walked into the pediatrician's office and she felt it, she said, I'm calling the ER at Ruby, take her straight to Children's Hospital. And so they were thinking like twisted bowels or impacted bowels. I mean, so we were hoping for something that simple. But by the end of the day, she had had a CT scan, an ultrasound, complete blood makeup, and they were telling us that it was probably something a little more serious. Yeah, she had 48 weeks of chemo and then 6 weeks of proton radiation. The 48 weeks of chemo protocol, she had, 4 different chemo drugs? Yeah, it was 4 different chemo drugs, and then every 3 weeks she would be admitted into the hospital where she would have to have IV fluids to hydrate her kidneys and everything to make sure that there was no damage done to them while she was in treatment. So it would be an overnight stay every 3 weeks. So it's so scary. I can remember she spent about, after the initial surgery to resect the tumor, it was a 2-pound tumor they removed off of her bladder. Bringing her home and just being afraid of germs, and I remember we had hand sanitizer at every door that anybody could possibly come through, and we'd make sure that her brother was not sick to be around her. I remember during that time we got a cat. We'd not had a pet, and so she wanted a kitten, and Preston and I ended up both being allergic to it, and we thought we were getting sick like every couple weeks, and so I'd have the mask on and he'd have to stay home from school, and then we figured out, oh wait, we're just allergic to the cat. But just complete fear, but at the same time a trust and belief that God was going to see her through it too really helped us. Our church family and our friends and family really just kind of gathered around us and supported us and made the journey a lot easier.
It was hard. I mean, you have to believe that the doctors know what they're talking about, know what they're doing, and you have to put your trust and faith in God and make sure that you know that He has this and know that you're going to get through this. And as the journey went on, it became easier. It became more of a daily routine and more of just a normal day-to-day thing. It got easier. At first, it was very hard. We didn't know what to expect. She's a healthy,
she's our little miracle.
9-year-old girl.
As soon as they resected the tumor, they told us that all the margins around the tumor were good. They didn't see anything that thought that the cancer would metastasize anywhere. And so ever since that first clean scan, we've kind of just believed, okay, it's going to be clean the whole time. So as soon as she started treatments, it was every 3 months that she would go in for a scan and do all the workup and everything to make sure she was still cancer-free. And it was the most stressful time. She would have to drink contrast. Contrast tastes horrible, so we would have to make a fun ways for her to do it. We would mix it with lemonade, we would mix it with iced tea, whatever she wanted that day to help her ease through it. But thankfully, the doctors at the hospital are just amazing. Our doctor would be in the room immediately after the scan to tell us the results. I mean, he was just on top of it, so we knew in a matter of 15 minutes what we were dealing with, and praise God, it was every time it was clear. So that was for the first year. After that, it was every 6 months, and then after that year, it was every year. So this is the first year that we've gone without a scan every year. It's been 2 years since she's had a scan, so it's amazing to see starting and then where we're at now.
the doctors in there, they're amazing. And Dr. Paul, after the first scan, he goes, well, you guys can go home and we'll call you. I said, no.
He just kind of giggles.
He giggles. He goes, you're going to be one of those parents that's not believed until you find out the results. And we said, yes, we're going to be one of those parents.
So he knew as soon as that, every time she had a scan, he was there with the results for us. So it's been amazing to watch her say, Mom, I want to do something for other kids now. Like, I know what I went through and I don't want them to have to go through it again. So that's how we got involved with Alex's Lemonade Stand. Was a friend of ours that was in treatments with Endsley. His mom found out about Alex's Lemonade Stand, and it's one of the only foundations that is solely for childhood cancer research. And so she threw a little party for Alex's Lemonade Stand, and Endsley was still in treatment. They were actually in Texas then, so we couldn't go. But the following year when she did it, we have been just so supportive of it. We try to get together at least once a year and do a stand together because they're both little warriors. So she's active, she's crazy good at dance and gymnastics, so she's a little rubber band. She can flip and tumble, and she does competitive dance through the fall, and she's an amazing little miracle. So we have 2 different kinds of lemonade that we're going to be preparing. We have tattoos to give out, and balloons, and just a fun time to help.
Snacks.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, snacks. Yeah.
Cookies.
Yeah. And it's all donations, so it's whatever people feel that they could give for childhood cancer to help. For every $50 that we raise, that's an hour's worth of research. So 500 is 1 day's worth of research. Yep.